Hello, everybody. This is Sasha from Sexpert Talks, and today I am so happy to be talking with Melissa Kelly, who is she fascinated me when I saw her profile. I was like, oh my god, I totally need to interview her. She is a stunt woman, and she works with women to empower them. She works with the topic also of this interview is fierce self-care, because that's pretty much what she does. She teaches women how to love themselves. So welcome to this conversation.
Oh, thank you, beautiful sister. I'm really excited to be here and to share with you and to get to know you a little bit more.
Thank you. It's so nice. So one of the things that I felt the most attracted to when I started seeing your page was this lioness that you have in your logo. It's the image of the goddess, this
Yeah,
fertility,
with
beautiful
Sekhmet.
goddess,
Mm-hmm.
and then the lioness. I was like, wow. And then you said fierce self-care, and it totally felt coherent. It totally felt attractive and wild, but really wild, because now the term wild has been so misused. I love that it felt really, truly, honestly wild, because it felt coherent. So would you like to tell us why this lioness and why fierce love?
Well, the lioness actually was birthed probably a month or two ago. It's still really new. That logo is new, and I created it myself and then had someone that knows how to make them into logos put it all together for me. The lioness has been something that I've been connected to for a long time. I did professional photography for a while as well, and I used to photograph large lions and tigers, and I feel very connected to the goddess Sekhmet, and I'm a huge cat person. I only own one cat, but everybody knows me as a crazy cat lady, so it's just the vibes, you know? And just tapping into that wild fierceness, that feline energy, you know, claws of compassion. I think it's just the innate part of who I am. And so because I like to honor our bodies as the goddess and help remind women that they are a goddess themselves, it felt aligned to add the lion head onto the goddess body in a portray of kind of who I am as a person, but also kind of what I offer and put together, like with the magazine, Roar, Fierce Feminine Rising. And what I like to call up in women and help them feel safe in their own bodies and in their sensuality.
I love that, and I love that you feel that connection with Sekhmet, because she's also one of
You know her, yeah.
yeah. One day I was calling for her because one of my kittens was very sick. My cat ended up dying, but I kid you not, in the following week I had 11 cats here. 11.
Whoa. That's amazing.
Yeah, so I truly believe that they just they are more than real, and they keep us together. Like they are these bigger sisters, older sisters.
Yeah, exactly, right. The ancient ones that you can call upon and help guide, and also embody to help remind you who you are.
Yes, absolutely. And then so fierce self-care. What is fierce self-care like?
I started I got inspired to start teaching self-love through my own journey of discovering it myself and realizing that this is not something we're taught in school or taught by our parents most of the time, and how life-changing it was. It's like we're taught all these stories about seeking outside of ourselves for love and to feel complete, and we need to buy this thing or do this next diet, or all this stuff is outside of ourselves. When it comes to self-love, it's so empowering because it's all on you, and it's you being able to give yourself what you need in any given moment. So it's a whole learning process. It's a whole journey, learning what your boundaries are, learning how to self-nurture, how to self-care, what fills your energy up, what fuels you. There's just so much on this gorgeous journey. And I call it a journey because for me, it's not a destination. It is the journey. It's every day of continuing to choose you in every moment, or checking in with yourself again. Like, hey, how do I feel about this? Do I still want to do this? Is this still right for me? Like, like you would in a new relationship. When you're on a first date with somebody, you take the time to get to know them. And when you're in a long-term commitment, you kind of sometimes have to rekindle that flame or check in with each other. It's the exact same thing, just kind of checking in with yourself and being tapped in.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I mean, how can a person that has never taken this time to take care of themselves start get familiar with their own needs, with their own with their own body and their own language of self-care?
Hmm. It's so interesting you say language, because as you know, we have love languages,
Uh-huh.
how we like to receive from others. And that is a good indicator of how to start with your own self-love. So how do you like to receive it from someone else? How do you feel fully seen, heard, and loved?
Yeah.
And when you know that, for example, one of mine is through like physical touch. So dancing is one of my favorite ways to drop into my body, or just like self massage. Like it's just these simple little things that you can connect to yourself and give yourself what you need in the moment. And when you start to learn how to do that as a routine, I love it. That's why I love to teach it as a morning routine, because in the morning is like the best time, because you're basically taking control of your mind and your emotions before it takes control of you and sets the tone for the day.
So true.
So you're filling up before you flow out, so you can give from a place of overflow.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I love that. And then your magazine, you have such a beautiful magazine. I love that.
Thank you.
It's all about empowering women. I could see so many women speaking their truth, so many beautiful um, artistic photos. It's so much color, it's so much beauty, but it's also a lot of depth.
Yes, that's what I wanted to go for. So for me, real beauty is inner beauty.
Yeah.
It's harnessing that light inside of you. It's fueling it. It's igniting your own inner flame. And a lot of us were never taught that, right? Like, where do we start? And it can be a little overwhelming in the beginning, because you're not even really sure what, it blew my mind one day when I looked in the dictionary, or the thesis for a word self-love, and the only thing was, or the thesaurus was, narcissism. And I was like, wow, we like really have a long way to go
Yeah.
to teach people that this is a healthy thing, and that it's not only like it's necessary. It's so important. When you learn what it feels like, you wonder how you ever survived without it. You were just kind of like functioning on reaction time and low energy. And um, so if someone was just starting the journey, I would suggest even starting with something as simple as a list of everything in your life is a current mirror of your own self-love.
Yeah.
So in what areas, financial, relationship, career, do you not feel fully heard, seen, or loved?
Mm.
You can kind of, and all of that is our little indicators of where you can, and you can just start with one simple thing. It doesn't have to be all of it at once. And it can
Uh-huh.
be as much as just 5 minutes in the morning. And the 5 minutes makes a huge difference. If you set your alarm for you instead of someone else in the morning, and you have that intention to give to yourself for 5 minutes, even if it's just a meditation or mindful tea or whatever works for you, um, you're still sending that message that you're worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you keep choosing you and giving yourself that energy that you would so gladly like to give to everybody else all the time,
Yeah.
something shifts.
Yeah.
And you kind of realize, like, whoa, like I just, you kind of take your power back. And yeah, it's a whole reprogramming of what we were taught.
Yes, absolutely. And especially as women, there is like
Yes,
this
yes.
fear and taboo of women being aware of our power and loving ourselves and our sexuality and our body. I have seen so many comments that change so much from men and women. When a man is confident, he's confident. When a woman is
Yeah.
confident, she's a bitch, right? She's
Yeah.
when a man is bossy, or when a man is confident in his work, he's a leader. When a woman is confident in her work, she's bossy, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like reclaiming this ability.
Yeah, absolutely. And not and kind of letting go of victim mentality, I think is so important, because if we don't give those words power, they don't have power anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sucks. The whole system is broke and we're fixing it right now. But the fastest way to do that is to embrace what's broken, to fix what you can within yourself, and to help each other grow, the divine masculine and feminine.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
It's not a
not one
battle.
against the other. Yeah, it's not a battle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if we're battling the divine masculine, we're also battling our own inner masculine. So we all have both, and I believe we all have both energies inside of us. So it's the union between the two, the balance.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I love that you are approaching this from a space of embracing and loving and taking care. And you also mentioned these challenges that you create, like 30 days of self-love. And
Yeah.
you go and you teach women that are in a more vulnerable situation.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
what is it that you have learned from sharing with these women?
Oh, it's a big question. Every group is so beautifully different, depending on who is in the circle at that time for the 30 days. But I noticed that in a group setting, it's really, really powerful, because one sister, like, you realize you're not alone, for one, that everybody's, regardless of where you're at on this journey, you're still in the journey. Like when I host the 30-day self-love challenge, I do it as well. I don't just tell them what to do. I literally do it with them, and I am transparent the whole time and vulnerable about what comes up for me, so they can learn and realize that it's all normal. It's all natural. We've unfortunately been taught a lot of things, that it's not normal to be human in a lot of ways, right? And it's all just, yeah, it's silly, because all of who we are is important and matters, and there's no need to suppress it. It's healthy, like anger is healthy, all of it, right? In the 30-day self-love challenge with women, what I've noticed is that some of them start to feel safe in their sensuality, that it's okay for them to tap in, and like nothing bad is going to happen. Or they start to realize in the ways that they could be setting up more boundaries for themselves to create sacred space and time for themselves. But essentially it's learning how you're holding love from yourself, so overcoming your own inner blocks as they arise.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely. And there is something that I am just thinking as I hear you, and it's like one of the biggest challenges that I have seen people having when it comes to self-love is believing that we are worth it right now. It feels like a commodity. It feels like something that you can have just when you don't have anything else to worry about. Like it's a luxury. Like it's something that you have to struggle to get to the place where you actually can have it. So the fact that you are bringing it down to these women that don't have the luxury of loving themselves, but you teach them that it's a need. That it's not a
yeah
luxury, but a need.
yeah it's also a birthright.
Yes.
Everybody deserves to have it, and feel it, and know what it's like to not abandon yourself anymore.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So
I have seen that firsthand. Like older people that have struggled a lot with I didn't want to say names, but okay, my grandmother, I had this experience when I told her, "Hey, Granny, let's just go and go to this beautiful club for elder people where you can swim and enjoy the conversation." It was somebody else also who
yes.
invited me to invite my grandmother because she was enjoying that. I could see the aliveness in her face.
Oh.
And the response of my grandmother was like, yeah, that's for people that have nothing else to worry about. And I told her, no, it's not. It's for everybody. That's the new
Yeah.
approach that you can have towards life. It's an approach of enjoyment right now so that you can have a better approach to whatever else you have in
Yeah.
life.
It's unfortunate. It's a lot of it is the programming that we've been taught over time, about like, the rich and the poor, and you have to work really hard to get everything that you desire. And like, there's just so much crap in between all of it, when really all it is coming home to yourself
Yeah.
through simple daily actions.
Yes, 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 yes. And that's one thing that fascinates me the most. Simple daily actions that people can take. Um, if you could just say a few for everybody that are busy and they can just figure it out, it just sounds too complicated. How can they love themselves?
A simple start is setting your alarm to get up for yourself, even if it's just 5 minutes, because that one's not overwhelming. You can even have mindful laying down in bed for those 5 minutes and just thank your body and your breath for another day. A gratitude journal is a really powerful one because I'm visual and I love to write things down, and it gets the mindset in a different state in the morning. I always like to hydrate with a liter or two of water right in the morning, because when you sleep, you lose water, and that can also cause negative thinking in the morning or anxiety. So kind of doing little things, planning when your moon time is coming, planning right before it to kind of give yourself those foods that you're going to need during that time to nurture yourself. Having a list of things that you can do to self-nurture if you go through a trigger, so you can refer to that when you are in that mode, so you kind of don't have to really think too hard. You kind of just know this stuff is going to help.
I love that. I love that. And it's very simple. It's just
exactly. Yeah, it is. It's when I teach the 30-day self-love challenge, it's a very simple action that can take 5 minutes or an hour, depending on how much time you have and want to put into it. And the stuff that arises is like, it's powerful. It's just through those actions of showing up for yourself every day, the stuff comes up to heal.
And how does this change the approach of people towards life in the long run?
For me personally, I can say that it has given me so much more confidence. I don't seek outside of myself for love anymore. So I am love in my highest state and vibration. So I just make sure my vibration's good, Yeah. Yes. And now if I feel off, I know it's more about me than anybody else. So it's like, okay, like, have I hydrated? Did I sleep well? So I know to kind of rebalance myself before I like put it on anybody else and think that that's the situation's to do with them. It's very empowering to know that I can give myself that feeling that I might be looking for, which could be sensuality or love, or it's really beautiful. And then you just share that with who you choose to. You don't then seek it from someone else or like expect them to fill this void, right? You're filling that void. So you just come from a place of abundance and love.
If we could bottle that sensation and sell it as medicine, everybody could be buying it.
Right?
Like, right. I don't need anybody to feel complete and to be in love and I can choose how to do it and who to do it with. And it's not out of need, it's out of desire. And that changes the whole dynamic and the whole way in which we play the game of life.
Yeah, and you are the bottle. You just have to fill it up every day.
I love that. Yes. Yes. It's simple, yet it's so powerful because in the long run, it changes the way in which you approach life.
Everything, everything. Who you attract, how you see life, everything, how you feel in your day. Like I can't say it enough. It is life-changing.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so deeply because I can see how that creates a whole new generation of women that are feeling empowered from a place of being into themselves, not as narcissism, as you well said, that it's so sad that is the one definition of self-love.
I know. Sacred embodiment, honoring yourself and seeing yourself for who you are.
Yeah, I love that. And that it's going to totally change the way in which we approach men as well. When you're in love with yourself and everything is fine with yourself, with your needs, you approach men in a whole different light.
Yeah. And also I've noticed that even men are starting to learn this. So it's catching on. People are waking up.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the work that men are doing on becoming more conscious and connected to their vulnerability and emotions and opening up.
It's beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
also very beautiful to watch. Yes. Oh my God, I love that so much. How beautiful. And uh, there's one thing that I really want to celebrate, and it's when I see a woman embodying this self-love with a sense of power, with a sense of standing in her body complete and full, and having this adventure of life, the way in which you are doing that I can see that this reflection, uh, you because you shine it through. It's your life has this sense of fullness. It feels full because you're feeling it from within. Then the message is coherent, and therefore it is something that people can listen to and should be listening to. I want really to invite people to follow you, to check out your website, which is in the description of the email of the site, and the podcast and the YouTube video, your magazine and your website and your email, so that people can approach you and get a little bit of this beautiful radiant magic that is so needed in the world right now.
No, thank you so much for fully seeing me and for giving me a chance to, speak my voice and my truth.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And is there anything that you would like to tell people, like a last message for this podcast?
Just that you are worth it. You are worth the 5 minutes. You are worth the 30 minutes. You are worth the hour every day. Your heart is just longing for you to check in with yourself. She is waiting for you to come home to her. And that's all you need.
Yes, yes, I love that. Yes. Oh my God. Please put that on your mirror. You are worth it. Every day in the morning, read it out loud. I am worth it. Yes, thank you so much for this beautiful message. And thank you for this beautiful podcast.
Thank you, Goddess. It's been lovely connecting with you.
It's been beautiful. Thank you so much.